welcome back, everyone, for another episode of the Wednesday Watch List. This is my weekly look ahead to all the new books coming out this Wednesday, May 7th, 2025. I'll give you a rundown on all the new releases on my pull list, some things that I'm reading, things I'm looking forward to, variants coming out, and basically anything you need to keep your eye on when you go to your shop this Wednesday. I'm going to try to give you a heads up related to it. Hopefully you enjoyed this series as well as everything else here on the channel. Please let me know what you think in the comments down below. Make sure that you like, you subscribe, you hit the alert button so you don't miss anything. Keep telling your friends so we can keep growing the channel, as we are so very close to hitting that 5K subscriber mark. We should get there hopefully by the end of the weekend. And yeah, also, thanks to a viewer suggestion, I actually decided to revamp the presentation here for this show. So please, let me know what you think of the new look in the comments down below. I'm trying to maximize the view on the books more so than on me. So just want to give you a better look at how things go. Hopefully it doesn't slow down the show too much, but we'll see how it goes. This is still a work in progress. But again, I could use your feedback down below. So with that all said, just hang on for a few seconds after the intro, and I will be right back. All right, well, let's just get right to it and start off as we do every week with my pull list. These are the books that I can't wait to get a hold of this week. Top of the pile type stuff, just things I'm just really looking forward to reading and catching up on the stories inside these actual comics. Now, with that said, let's see how this works. Like I said, I got a new deck put together. I'm going to try things out a little bit as we move on. So I'm going to start off with a book that actually started off as a viewer recommendation that it hooked me. Yes, I am from New Jersey, so I do know the tales of the Jersey Devils. So yes, there is a bit of a local connection for me personally as related to this, because growing up in the Pine Barrens, I could consider myself a piney. But that said, I still think this is an excellent read, and I'm fully engaged and going to see this thing through now until the end. This is Let This One Be a Devil from Dark Horse. Issue 3 is coming out this week. As I said, I caught up on the first 2 issues, enjoyed them both, but this is the new issue coming out this week. So it is in my pull list now and something I am looking forward to reading this week. We have the cover A option here, as well as a B cover option as well. I'm good with either of these. They're both very good. But yeah, you pick which one you think you like better. I'm good with either personally. But I just want to read the story that's actually inside this thing. Now, another book that I think you guys should take a look at that's also on my pull list is something that I've already checked out through the Kickstarter, but now that's being released, through Mad Cave to the general stores and the audiences. I think it's still worth going and picking up to read it if you didn't get the Kickstarters. I got the Kickstarters already, but I'm getting these again because I enjoyed this one so much. But this is the 3rd issue of Pop Kill. Again, it's Palmiotti and doing a good story here. Give it a read. This is the cover A, and we only have a B option here this week, but it is one of my favorites, biased though I am, for Adam Hughes. No, that is not suitable for work. It is risque, but that is covered, so don't worry. Phys 1 is covering it up there, but it is a pretty cool cover, and again, I'm biased. I'm an Adam Hughes fan, admittedly, so it is what it is, but that's definitely the one I'm getting. Actually, I think I might be getting both, but I'm definitely getting that Hughes cover. Now, the next book, I could have sworn this was done. I don't know why in my head I had already checked it off that this series was done, but no, we still have the final issue 7 of 7 of Grommets coming out this week. And again, I enjoyed this book thoroughly too. I just enjoyed the read. I love the nostalgia that it brings up. Granted, I was not a skateboard kid growing up, but I do remember those times and, that being a thing. So I can still relate to a lot of what goes on in here. But I enjoyed it. And I thought it was done, but apparently we still got one left. I don't know. I think it's been a while. I think it's been a while since we had the last issue. So it's just one of those things you just kind of forget and it just gets put to the back of the mind and it slips your brain. But we are getting the final issue this week. Cover A option here. We also got a 1 in 10, which isn't bad. I like it. Grinding the empty pool. It is pretty cool. And then we also have a 1 in 20 option here as well, which is a really fun cover. I don't know. I just love the extra details when we get covers like this with all of the, the vines and the signage, and you got all the garbage and things laying there on the ground. You got the pool in the background. I don't know. I just dig the attention to detail here in a lot of these types of covers. So I do like this 1 in 20 quite a bit, actually. So with that said, I got to keep it moving because, again, I don't know how long this this show is going to run with this new format because there's like 300 slides in here. So a lot of it is transition stuff that you guys don't need to worry about. Point being, I don't know how this is going to play out yet until I do it. So with that said, let's get to the next book that is on my pull list. And it is that book we talked about a couple of weeks ago with the writer, Aubrey Sitterson. We had him on the tax show, and I'm looking forward to grabbing this and checking this out this week. This is Free Planet #1. Again, we had him on a couple of weeks ago to talk about the book all right before the FOC. Now it is finally here, so we all get to read it. So I'm looking forward to this one and seeing where this one goes. Issue 1, cover A here. There is also a cover B option that you can get, as well as a blank if you want to go the blank cover route. And then we do have a couple of incentives, including that cover A being a foil version. If you want to get a shiny foil version of it, that would be the 1 in 25 option. But then we do also have a 1 in 50 incentive variant as well that kind of has like a movie poster kind of vibe to it, which I also like those. I like those movie poster vibes. That all said, I'm not going the incentive route here. I'm just going probably cover A and just going to read that because I want to see what's inside this book. I'm not so much worried about the covers or the incentives, etc. I just want to get to the guts of it and read this thing. So with that said, cover A is probably my play. You guys let me know what you guys are grabbing with a lot of these books in the comments down below. I love to hear when you guys tell me what you pick up at the shop. So don't be afraid. Let's have a conversation. We'll share amongst ourselves what we're all grabbing. Now, with that said, let's get away from the indie side of things, and I'm going to go over to DC with, again, a surprise. I really didn't love all of Absolute. Yeah, admittedly, I'm not a big DC guy. I like DC. Don't get me wrong. But I didn't love all of Absolute. Like Superman and Batman have been meh. I liked Wonder Woman. I had no interest in Martian Manhunter, Green Lantern, or Flash being done as well. I had no interest. Flash surprised me. I really liked it, and I'm really looking forward to it. And Green Lantern surprised me as well. Not as much as Flash, but I still did like. I'm interested. I'm interested in some of the changes and tweaks they brought here, and I'm looking forward here for issue 2. So with that said, issue 2 is coming out this week, and it is on my pull list, and I am looking forward to reading it. We have cover A here. As you can see, we also got a cover B option. Ain't bad. We also have a C. If you want to go that route, we can go that route. And then we have that D cover, which we've looked at already because I previewed it because it is part of that connecting cover set with those other newer second round of Absolute titles that I mentioned, the Martian Manhunter and the Flash, in the sense that, boom, these three, the last issues that just came out, issue 2 of Flash and issue 2 of Martian Manhunter, and now here, issue 2 of Green Lantern, they all go together to form this little connecting cover set, which, again, it's kind of fun. I kind of like it. That said, move this out of the way. We do have a 1 in 25 option here, as well as a 1 in 50, which is a virgin version of one of the other open order covers. And, you go from the limited trade dress to the virgin. It's not that much of a change. So if you like this cover, just get the trade dress. In my opinion, no need to go and spend up for the 1 in 50. Granted, a lot of places will have the incentives on a lot of these DC Absolute and other incentives for pretty cheap. Like I think it's in the $20 to $30 range for the 1 in 50, which is well under ratio. So if you really do want it, go for it. But personally, I'm going to rebudget and go for more books rather than spend on incentives when I can. Unless I really, really like an incentive, that's generally the way I play. I'll just try to get as many books as possible within my budget because I like reading these comics and I'd like to get as many as I possibly can. With that said, here's a title I brought back into my pull list because I was not reading it for a while. I gave it a taste test a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a month ago, probably, considering it's a month out, and that's Birds of Prey. So with Birds of Prey, issue 20 that I just gave a taste test to last month, left us on a bit of a cliffhanger here. I don't want to spoil it and say what that cliffhanger was, but I'm looking forward to reading what happens next in issue 21. So personally, I'm going to be grabbing this one. And we get a new villainous team up to take the spotlight, which is also kind of fun. Cover A option here. I like the B. I like the yellow, the pop of yellow, and all the Batgirls all around. Canary there. I don't know. It's kind of like it. If you don't like this, there is a Ryan Gonzalez kind of design cover, which is kind of fun. I'm still probably going yellow for my pick. But if you do want to get the incentive, there is a 1 in 25 option here as well. So you can go that route if you like. It's not bad. Kind of has like a spiderweb TV kind of vibe thing. I don't know. It's interesting, but again, I'm fine with that yellow. with that said, gonna hop on over to Marvel and get to Amazing Spider-Man #3. And they're just really running through these books. Just I don't personally like it when we get more than monthly shipping. I like reading. I love this stuff, but I still need to pace myself. There's so much out there to read. I don't like it when I'm being forced to have to rush every couple of weeks as opposed to once a month. That's a personal thing. I wish it was just monthly, but I get it. Marvel's rushing, trying to get to 1,000, Legacy 967. So we'll get there sooner rather than later, despite the fact that they had to start renumbering already. Now, renumbering problems and issues I have with that aside, it just makes things confusing for the regular collector of what volume this, what volume that, what year did this one come out, where do I find this issue? It just makes it difficult. Just go with the legacy numbering, personally. But that all said, I still am enjoying the revamp that we're getting here. Well, I say revamp may be a stretch, but I'm enjoying the storyline so far. Through these first 3 issues, I'm on board. Cover A, couple of other options here with a B. And then we do have a C cover that's featuring Itsy Bitsy, who did make a surprise appearance there at the end of last issue. If you didn't see, I did cover that on Dollar Bin Digging this past weekend. Yeah, it's a character we just haven't seen for a while. She got a lot of heat coming out of the gate, like, oh, the next big thing. And then we haven't really seen her use much, but she's back. So we'll see if this ups her profile in the Marvel Universe as more of a baddie for Spider-Man going forward or not. Now, with that, we can also move this along and get to, why does it look like I missed a cover here? Did I? Yeah, it looks like I jumped ahead. There is that Rose Besh down below. Sorry, I missed the Besh down there for the main spotlight. And then we got a 1 in 25 option. And I bring up the Besh down below because, yes, that is, he's sitting there eating some sort of food on a stick. I don't know if it's shawarma or corn dog or whatever he's eating. You can see it better as we'll blow it back up because that will also be the 1 in 100 incentive variant that Marvel likes to do the virgin versions of, on a regular trade dress option. It is what it is. I'm fine, like I said, just getting any of the regular covers. I'm probably just going to go cover A on this one for myself. Okay, with that said, all right, there's one hiccup I found in my new deck. So I made one mistake there. Let's count them up before the end of the show. That's one. Next up, Laura Kinney Wolverine #6. Still enjoying this. I've said it before, how much I quickly lose interest on solo Wolverine titles. Yes, Laura Kinney, she still technically is a Wolverine, so we'll see how long this lasts. But for now, I'm enjoying it. I like the Winter Soldier stuff that we had going through like these last couple issues. So let's see where we're going now with this next one. I can't believe this is her Legacy 74. So we're already almost 75 issues of her being a Wolverine. That's kind of crazy when you think about it. But with that said, cover A option here. We got a cover B option with her reading a book. And then we do have another option here as well, which I actually do kind of like with her popping out the street light. And they did make that cover the incentive option here. So if you want to get the 1 in 50, it is a virgin version of that would be the incentive option on this book. So, get which one you like. I might get the trade dress of that one personally. I forget who the artist is on it. Sorry, just slips my mind at the moment, but that'll probably be my go-to for this week on that book. Also, with Marvel on my pull list, I'm still enjoying Storm's solo title. I don't know, I just am. It still seems kind of silly that we have Legacy issue 19 when we're only at issue 8. Like, why didn't we just pick up from the last series? I get it, it was a whole new title, but we could have just picked up and just would have been fine. With that said, a lot of gods, messing about in the last couple issues here with Storm. So we got Black Winter running about. We had Thor showing up at the end of the last issue. It looks like they're going to be working together, not fighting as we might have expected how he showed up at the end of last issue. But we'll see how this actually plays out. This is the cover A. We do have a cover B option here as well as a C option with Storm with a pretty fun, Valkyrie kind of Thor look. That's a character we've seen before. Will we see her again in this version? I don't know. But that is also the 1 in 50 virgin version if you want to go the incentive route on this particular book. So we'll take all the trade dress off, and there we go with the 1 in 50. And that is the baseline pull list that I have for this week. Granted, you guys know how I do this. There's still a few other segments or books I'm still getting, so they're technically on my pull list in varying stages. But before we get to that, quick reminder for anybody out there who hasn't tried Whatnot before, use the link down below to sign up and get 15 bucks off your first purchase. You can spend it on whatever you want with whomever you want. No strings attached. You just try out the application, get 15 bucks on your first purchase. You help out the channel. You get yourself something nice. So you really got nothing to lose just to give it a try. I'm going to try to make it back on there. I don't know if I'll make their Whatnot Con. I think it's this upcoming weekend. I don't think I'll be ready in time, but sometime soon I'll probably do another sale personally. So if you like hanging out and buying cheap books, it's a fun place to be. But with that said, let's move on back with the show. And kind of teased, why'd it go away? See, another error. I shouldn't have had it disappear. But we are going to be getting into my recommendation section next because I didn't get a lot of viewer recommendations. And some of the recommendations you guys did shoot me. And again, I encourage you to keep making recommendations. It's just like it was somebody dropped like Daredevil Cold Days and what was the other one? And Bug Wars. But like I'm already reading those. I think we've already talked about them. So looking for anything else odd that I'm already covering. So, but please feel free. Again, shoot out books. And then somebody else shot out a really old book that I think we're going to do on TAC for fun. So with that said, I decided to give you guys recommendations on things that I'm reading that I think you should be if you aren't reading them already. I think last week when I did this the first time, there were like issue 2s coming out. So in the spirit of that, new story arc is starting here with Batgirl. Batgirl surprisingly has been one of my favorite reads for anything, let alone over at DC. I've never been a huge Cassandra Cain fan. I've never been a huge Batgirl fan. It's just I thoroughly enjoyed reading that first story arc. I liked it. And now we're getting a new story arc starting here. So if you guys haven't checked out Batgirl, now's a good time to hop on. That's all. We got a cover A here. And then we got a B cover, which ain't bad. That's probably going to be the one I get. I think I like the B cover. But though the A is really nice. And then we do have a C cover option as well if you want to go that route. A or B for me, not sure. It'll be an impulse which one to grab when I get books this week. But that would be my recommendation for this week is go check out Batgirl when we got a new story arc start. Now, for a recommendation for myself, I'm going to do a little bit of a taste test next. So this is going to be something that I'm challenging myself to try, either an old title that I'm going to go back to or a new title to try out that's starting. That's kind of the vibe of what this is. It's just something that I haven't read before that I'm going to give a try, and then I'll let you guys know what I think. So with that in mind, we'll first go over what I gave as the taste test for last week and give a kind of a quick update there. Lost Fantasy. So this was a new title starting last week. Gave it a read, and I got to say, wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. Oh, yeah, I don't think I like that. I should do like a more of a simpler transition there. So another not minor error, which I think would be 3. But that aside, I did kind of like this. I think there were 2 stories in here. I like the first story better than the second story in this book, but it was an interesting start. I'm curious for more. So it isn't like a super huge thumbs up, but it is enough of a thumbs up that I'm looking forward to the next issue. Now, with that said, I'm going to move on to one of the other books that I recommended. Again, I'm trying to go a little quicker, knowing how much we have to go through this week. I also had Wolverine and Kitty Pryde. Claremont returning to the X-Men, which in theory sounds like a great thing. In execution, maybe not as much as I might have thought that I might have wanted this. I don't know. It just didn't hit right for me. I just wasn't on board for more here. I don't know. Nothing against the characters or anything like that, or against Chris Claremont. It's just, I don't think I need this story. That's all. So I'm good without it. Not everything has to be for me. If you're enjoying it, great. Please let me know what you guys think. But I don't know, just one for me. Now, with that said, for this week, we got a new book coming out that I'm going to give a shot to, and that is Los Monstros, which at first I thought was like, what is it, like a luchador werewolf or something going on? And then I had to read the synopsis, like, oh no, it's like a California city that's basically populated by classic monsters, so it's Horrorwood, if you will. I don't know, sounds kind of interesting. I think we'll go with all of those tried and true like noir tropes and things like that. I get that kind of vibe just looking at a bunch of these covers. So yeah, I'm looking forward to giving this a shot, just to give this a try. I mean, you got folklore, you got werewolves and vampires and whatnot, mummies, etc. Could be fun. This is the cover A. Nah. B is not bad. The Tony Harris isn't bad. I kind of like it. Still not the one I'm going to go with. Also a good option here. This looks like an old school film noir poster here, so I do like that as well. But still, that's not the one I'm going to grab. Yet we have another posterish vibe kind of looking here, or an old paperback little noir pulp novel kind of thing. Also a good option here. And also, don't forget, it's written by James Robinson, who does quality work. But the one I'm probably going to get is because I am biased and I am a fan of Dan Panosian. So I'm going to go grab this pretty cool looking werewolf sitting there at the poker table. I'm assuming he's got his bourbon in front of him, a couple ladies behind him. I don't know. This kind of sells me on this story. So I'm on board. I like the Panosian. This is the one I'm probably going to pick up. Now, those were the recommendation portions of the show. So before we move on to the next bit, another quick reminder for anybody who needs supplies. You need bags, you need boards, boxes, long or short, CGC boxes, top loaders, pages for cards. BCW's probably got something for you. And if you're going to go shop over there, you can use the link below, but definitely use my code RENA10 to save yourself 10% off your whole order. You got to buy a lot of these supplies anyway, so you might as well save money while you do it. So use that code RENA10 to save yourself 10% off your entire order over at BCW. So again, by using it, you help out the channel and you get yourself a discount. So once again, what do you got to lose? Now, with that said, let's move on to the next segment, which is going to be writing it out, which is by extension a bit of my pull list that I might be behind reading some of these titles, so I can't speak to what may be going on currently, but they're books that I'm still going to be getting. Either because they are just, I'm going to continue to run forever, I'm going to see out through a mini series or an arc, etc. Things that I might be behind on reading that I'm still going to be getting. That's kind of the idea of what writing it out is. So with that said, the first book I have here in this segment is going to be Assassin's Creed. You guys know, I enjoy the Assassin's Creed series. I play all the games, and I play them through and through. I think I'm already at near 100 hours on Assassin's Creed Shadows, and I'm not even halfway through the main storyline because I do every side mission quest thing that's possible. I hunt the little glyphs and everything that you can do on a side quest. I try to do it. OCD, I guess. It's the way I play the game. But we do have comics, too. I don't read a lot of these until I have a lot of spare time, but I do always collect them because I like the series, I like the project. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to support it. They're making comics, I'm going to get them. So issue 2 for Mirage, which was a fun game. Went quick by my standards. It went quick, Mirage, but I'm going to get issue 2 here. Only one cover, so that's all you got to worry about here. Coming back is Farmhand. And I really did enjoy the first run of this. It's been so long, I can't even remember where we left off. But Rob Guillory, if I'm saying it right, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the storyline. I enjoyed the art. I'm on board for more. So it's coming back here with issue 21. I'm going to go pick it up. G.I. Joe, Real American Hero side of things. This is the Larry Hama run that they're still continuing over at Image. It's kind of picking up where IDW left off. I've been in and out. So right now, I'm a couple issues behind, which is why it's here in writing it out. But I do really like this cover with Snake Eyes on it. So we do have a cover A option here. There is a black and white version of this as the B cover, if you want to go that route. And then there's a really, really nice Don Marino 1 in 10, negative space cover here as well. So yeah, I did pre-order one of those for myself, as well as just the cover A. I don't need the black and whites. It's just I don't need it. I'm fine with just the regular. With that said, speaking of things, seeing through to the end, I am way, way behind on The Moon is Following Us, but we only have one issue left after this. So again, I'm just riding this one out to the end. Then I'll catch up and read them all. Daniel Warren Johnson, I'm a fan, so I'm counting on him to deliver a good story through the end. And if not, it doesn't matter. I'm seeing it through. So issue 9 coming out, the penultimate issue, one more to go, and I'll finally sit down and catch up on these. But I'm intrigued. We got this, My Little Pony looking Pegasus on the front here and a little shark dude. Again, I got some catching up to do. 2 cover options here too. This is the cover A, and then we do have the Daniel Warren Johnson, I think, doing the B covers, because those are the ones I've been getting the whole run are the B covers that I think have been Johnson. Now, with that said, next book, anthology, horror issues, Hello Darkness. Again, as far as reading goes, a little behind, but anthologies are easy to catch up on because, they're it's an anthology. So you're getting a lot of little one-off stories, etc. With that, Some are continuing stories and continuing arcs, but still, you could kind of still pick up and go. I do like the Mercado cover here on the cover A. There is a nice Frizen cover here as well. They always do a great job with all of these covers, in my opinion, on this title from Boom. And then we do have another option here with this creepy dude with a bunch of glass in his face. Kind of cool. And then we have another option here. I think it's also another Mercado. And then we do have a 1 in 10, which is really nice. I don't know, something about this. It gives me sort of like a ring kind of vibe. Like it looks like Samara coming out of the television. I don't know. It's creepy, but I dig it, especially with all the skulls. And I love the color palette here. Just that one tone. I don't know. I really like this 1 in 10. And then there is also a 1 in 20, which is a virgin version of that other Mercado, I believe. Is it going to transition or do I got to do it? I guess I got to do it. Yep, there we go. So there we go. Seems like a lot of empty space, though, when you go to the virgin spot, because that's, in a pretty big trade dress. But still, it still kind of works here because of the darkness. Like, it's doesn't look so much empty as it just looks dark. But still, the 1 in 10 is still probably my favorite of this bunch. Now, moving on over to Marvel, X-Men. Well behind on reading these. Still not fully on board the new direction. But hey, I'm an X-Men fan, so it doesn't matter. Through and through, regular X-Men and Uncanny, those runs are not stopping, no matter what. It's the life of a collector, right? With that said, this is the cover A. We got a B cover option here that's spotlighting some of these newer characters. These I forget what they're like 3K X-Men. I forget what they're going by. But Juice and Constellation. Okay. And then we do have a Daughterman that's giving us a whole bunch of Psyches. So we got a whole bunch of Cyclopses. A lot of different looks over the years. Cool. You can pick that one up if you like it. Then we also have a 1 in 25 option as well, if you're on board for that. Now, going over to the DC side of things, as I mentioned, not loving all the Absolute titles, so I will admit I'm a little behind on reading Absolute Superman. So Absolute Superman is over here. Issue 7 coming out this week. I forget where I left off, but do have some catching up to do. Cover A is fine. Nothing wrong here. Favorite is probably, again, my bias towards Dan Panosian on that B cover. I like the over-the-look shoulder. The yellow makes the pop of his, the red and blue. It's, traditional. It's classic. I just like it. And I like it better than this awkward flex. I'm not a big fan of this C cover by Lyrics Lee. It just looks like he's doing a TikTok video of some time trying to do some new weird dance. So that one, not for me. But there is a 1 in 25. That's pretty cool. Kind of like that one. And then there is also a 1 in 50, which is a virgin version of that Panosian with a limited trade dress. The limited trade dress, now a virgin version for the 1 in 50. Again, unnecessary. I'm fine just getting the regular trade dress of that one personally. But, you buy what you want to buy. It's your money. Also, over at DC, another title I'm seeing through the end. I'm only 1 issue behind on this one. I almost caught up. I'm just not there yet. Is Black Canary Best of the Best. This is the end of the series anyway, so this is the finale. I kind of like this storyline. I like how we were getting like backstory told through the midst of this fight. It was a fun concept. 6 issues might have been a little bit long, but here we are. We're at the end anyway. So we do have issue 6 coming with cover A. That's fine by me. There is a B cover, not bad. And then there is a 1 in 25 option here as well. I'm fine with the A personally, so that's probably just what I'm going to grab. Now, I'm on board enough for Resurrection Man Quantum Karma number 2. Yes, issue 1 was a bit strange, a bit weird, etc. Kind of trippy. Interested enough to just read issue 2. So that's where I'm at. So we got a cover A here and a cover B option as well. I'm fine with the A, but B's not bad, but I'm fine just getting the A. Another series over at DC that's wrapping up. We have Two-Face wrapping up with issue 6. And it wasn't until I seen this blown up on my screen that I could appreciate that I really do actually like this cover. And this probably should have made my favorite covers of the week, if not just outside. Something about the way that it's framed with, Two-Face climbing out of the other side of the face. It's well done. I like it. So this will be the cover that I'm getting for this one on the cover A. Again, wrapping up this mini series. I was almost going to drop this for a minute, but then I said, I can see it through the end. I do like Two-Face as a character. Let's see how this goes. So here we are. We're at the end. This, like I said, will be the one that I'm getting, but there is a B cover option if you want to go that route yourself. So, boom. Now, those are books that I'm definitely still sticking on board with, at least until the end, like that, like with this issue 6 finale. So, there are some other titles that I may or may not continue, and these are the ones that I'm on the fence about. So, with that, we'll see if we continue on this ride or if these guys have to be sacrifices to the budget so we can get other stuff. We shall see. We shall see how it plays out. But for now, let's go on with what's on the fence. And right now, I only actually have one title this week that I'm on the fence about. And that's just because I feel obligated to read the next issue of All New Venom. So we all know by now what happened at the end of issue 5, the big surprise, the big reveal over who Venom was. So if you haven't, it's going to be spoiled because it's spoiled already. MJ is the new Venom. Don't really love that idea personally, but we'll see how it goes. So I'll be on the fence and try this out. At the very least, see where this storyline is going to take us. Cover A is fine. The cover B will probably be, or this cover here will probably be the favorite of many because of the callback to the famous, you said the Jackpot Tiger, obviously. So you got that option, as well as another option here, which, yeah, ain't too bad. It's got kind of a Sandoval kind of vibe there, with the sharper edges, almost anime vibe. And we do also have a 1 in 25 that is pretty close to that, at least as far as perspective and pose goes, with the 1 in 25. And then that Jackpot cover is the 1 in 50 virgin version that Marvel is going to give to us as their obligatory high-end ratio. Reuse, open order art, and just make it a virgin. It's been working for them, so I don't see them changing that anytime soon. With that said, wait, no, I do have one more book that I was on the fence about. But this one's going to be a little bit tricky. And that is Ultimate Wolverine number 5. Again, I've already been over and over again my short attention span for Wolverine solo titles. But here's my problem and why this actually transitions from being a book that I'm on the fence about to a book that I'm asking the question.
WTF, Gary? WTF. What the fuck does WTF mean? What the fuck?
Oh, seriously. What? Now, I know what you're thinking. No, this has nothing to do with the story. This has nothing to do with the art. This goes back to something I kind of mentioned with Spider-Man, and that's the fact that we're getting this book 2 weeks after the last issue. We don't need this book that quickly. Stop shoving this book down my throat. Like, I don't want to have to spend $10 a month on Ultimate Wolverine, and that's what you basically have to do to keep up with the story. You don't give me 2 issues. 1 is enough per month. It's just, call it a pet peeve, but seriously, it is really just an assault on my wallet. I see it for what it is. They figure if they were to space it out by a month, people could drop it quicker. But if they keep it up and keep pushing them at you, you'll feel like you got to keep getting them, or you'll pre-order them before you can even say when to stop because you already pre-ordered for the month of, we already pre-ordered for the month of May. So, well, we're getting 2 issues. I already got 2 of them on pre-order. Too late now. I don't like it. I don't like the double shipping. It's just, again, unless it's for like a special storyline that you got to get through it quickly for whatever reason, I don't like books that come out more than once a month. It's just too much these days. These aren't $1 anymore. Those days are long gone. These are $5 a piece. So with that, that's my problem with this book. And probably what's going to cause me to drop it because I can't stick with that kind of schedule. I don't want this for I don't like it that much. If you're going to put that kind of question in front of me, is this worth $10 a month to you? No, it's not. But we got an A, we got a B cover, and we do got a C cover here, which I really do like. I do like this Simone DeMeo with the wolves and the owls and whatnot in the shadows of the star on the chest of Wolverine here. I like it. Very cool cover, very cool concept. And then we do have a 1 in 25 option here as well, which is okay. It's not bad. It's classic Wolverine jumping at you, but it is what it is. Point being, this is quickly going to find itself in the next segment, which is actually the books that I'm actually out on.
I'm out.
What?
Yeah, I'm out. I'm out of the contest.
So this is going to be where I'm drawing the line. No more for me. I just can't do it. This week, I think I only got one for you for this segment of being, I'm out. And that's going to be a title that was on the fence the last time out. And we're only at issue 3, but I already know this one's not for me. As much as I looked forward to this Secret Six, it's just not for me. It's just, again, nothing against the title. It's not that it's a bad title. It's just not what I wanted. I wanted the original team back, and while they tried to shoehorn in Catman and Deadshot, it's more about these newer characters, which, again, I have no ties to them, so it doesn't have the same nostalgia that the regular Secret Six team would have if we would have brought back Cheshire and maybe even Bane and Ragman and Catman. I like that title, so I wanted that back. So, again, it's just an issue of this isn't what I was looking for. So I'm dropping this one personally. This is the cover A. There's a B cover here. Not bad. I do like the yellow. And then we do have Catman in a hot tub for our C cover with a couple of tigers and a lion behind them. Cool. Again, I like Catman, but there are minor players in this title so far, and I don't have the patience to see it through. And I don't see the old team coming back. So it isn't what I was hoping for. So now I'm out. It will soon find itself in the next segment, which are other books that I have just left on the shelf. Just as I said, can't get everything as much as I'd like to. Can't get everything. Can't keep up with reading everything. So we all got to make decisions. We all got to make calls as far as our budgets go, and some books got to get left behind. And here are a couple of books that I may be personally leaving behind, but I think there's enough interest amongst the community and everybody else for us to kind of keep tabs on them to see where they're kind of going and just kind of put things out there. First one, Silverhawks. And I really do like this Spears cover. This is probably the best use of his talents with the shiny metal, and then you got the monsters dude. I can't remember his name right now off the top of my head in the background. I think it's Monstar. But isn't that Space Jam? I still think it is Monstar. That said, I like this cover. Well done by Spears. You see how small I had to make the text box, because when you write that much stuff to try to sell me in a book, you're already turning me off. Like you got to hook me with like maybe two sentences in a tagline. Anything more than that, I might as well just read the whole book. Well, you're going to give me that. So I'm not even bothering reading that. But here we are, issue 3. I don't know. It was an interesting concept. It's like we had old Silverhawks, and then we had new Silverhawks that were going to be trained and coached up by the original team. But when I thought about it, as much nostalgia as I have for this title, remember the cartoon, I remember the toys, watched some of both. I watched some of it. I had some of the toys, but I don't actually have the same connection that I thought I did. I don't have that same connection to Silverhawks that I have with a G.I. Joe or a Transformers or even a Mask. No, this is more on the Sectars side of things, if that makes sense. So I didn't have a lot of nostalgic feels when I was reading the first 2 issues, so I just don't need to stick with it anymore at Dynamite with their way too many covers. And I'll show you their way too many covers now. Yes, you got a good look at the Spears, and they have multiple versions of all of these. We got a Jay Lee, not bad, also pretty cool. Again, they had no problem. There are a lot of good covers that they do. They just do way too many. Here we go. That's 3. And I'm only showing you the unique art ones. So remember, there's multiple versions of all of these. There's 4. We're not done. We've got 5. Ivan Tao. Cool. Not done. I don't have room on the screen anymore. So here we go. We got 6, but we still don't have room. So we're going to have to keep making bumps and bump some guys out of here. We got 7. And no, that's not a Twinkie. That's just the artist's style. But it does kind of look like a Twinkie as a Silverhawk. That said, though, we're not done because we do have new art, surprisingly, on one of the incentives. So we'll just move more books out of the way. The 1 in 10 actually is new art, and it is kind of cool. I kind of like the 1 in 10 a bit. It really has a strong manga anime kind of vibe to it. I don't know, kind of like it, but again, I'm not on board for this title, so I'm not picking this one up personally. Now, also going to be left on the shelf are the Deadpool books because, again, I like the Deadpool movies. I like Deadpool as a character. I've just never been a huge fan of the solo books, and there's so many miniseries, etc. Just too much for me. That's all. But I know there's a lot of people who like them. And again, not judging. It's just I can't get everything. So Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe one last time. I don't even know what time it is, but I'm glad it's the last time because I feel like there's a half a dozen of these miniseries at this point. But that being said, issue 2, one last time. Pretty cool cover A. I do like this. It's a nice cover right there with the Cap Wolf. And then we do have a B cover option here as well as a 1 in 25, which is kind of fun. Taking a selfie. Pretty cool. And then we also do have a 1 in 100, which is going to be, as you might guess it, a virgin version of the open order trade dress there. And that would be the 1 in 100 incentive. So get what you like if you want to get this book. Again, not for me, but it's fine if anybody else is picking it up. The regular Deadpool title is running as well. We have a bunch of censored because he's shooting a bunch of people. And the second Deadpool, Ellie, is also fighting with him. So I don't know if she's also going by Deadpool, which is really giving me a headache. Why Marvel keeps doing that? Why do we have multiple characters using the same name? Like, I mean, Miles is also Spider-Man, and Peter Parker is also Spider-Man. We'll just call them both Spider-Man. And then we got Deadpool and Deadpool. And we got Laura Kinney Wolverine, and then Wolverine's going by Wolverine. And then Daredevil is called Daredevil, and Elektra's still calling herself Daredevil. It's like, guys, we do have other names. Why are we all using the same ones? I guess it sells more books. That said, cover A, Legacy 349. So you know what the hell that means. It means we're going to get a $10 Deadpool. That's the other problem with Deadpool. Any excuse they get to sell you some oversized edition that's $10, they do it. Think about it. Think of how many $10 Deadpool books you bought. It's 250th issue, $10. This is $275, $10. Well, we're coming up to $350. So I bet you next month it'll be $10. That said, cover A here. There is a B cover with Taskmaster. Kind of fun. And then, yeah, that's it. And with that, we'll move on to the next title. Again, some of these might have other covers that will find themselves in other segments later on. But for now, we're moving on and keeping it rolling here with West Coast Avengers. Again, just can't connect with this title. I keep trying to read it. It just doesn't seem to hook me. So I just have to leave it on the shelf, despite the fact that I really like the Ben Harvey covers. If you look at this cover here, it captures, it's just solid art to begin with, but also just the facial expression on the, what the heck is his name? The Blue Fury, Blue Storm. I don't even remember the dude's name. Guy looks like LA Knight. Has that kind of Kevin Maguire, wah ha ha ha, kind of like exaggerated, very, very animated face. I like it. That said, just not reading this one right now, despite the fact that I like this cover A and I like the cover B, which is a negative space JTC. So John Tyler Christopher giving us another cool Wonder Man negative space cover. But it's just I just can't connect with the characters. So it's out. It's on the shelf. But don't judge anybody else for picking it up if they are. Which will take us to Marvel's huge event title of the season of the year, I guess. One World Under Doom. And last week we had a bunch of books. And as I mentioned last week, this week we don't. So my update for this week is you don't have to worry about any One World Under Doom books because we have none. So you get to take a nice little vacation from reading this storyline for this week or play a little catch up as I plan to do with a bunch of stuff because we don't have any new ones. That said, I like to keep this in here because I took the time to make it. So as another weekly reminder of all of the associated titles with this storyline, here we go. Your reading order. We've got all first 9 parts that ran through February. Continuing on through the month of March, we've got through parts 18. Actually, yeah, through the month of March. And then we've got a couple of more here as we get through 19 through 24. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. There's 25 to 27. And then we do have a couple more just from last week, just wrapping us up through the end of April. We've got 30 parts already. 30 parts, 3 core titles. So the main miniseries only has 3 issues, but we have 30 connective tie-ins in total for this series. That's 9 extra books for every core title. Way too much. Despite the fact that this storyline really isn't that engaging. That said, we're going to look at the other big sort of monthly event where we keep getting these one-shots of Godzilla versus Marvel. We just had Godzilla versus Spidey, which was pretty good. I think we're getting the Avengers next or something, or Thor. Can't remember. Point being, we're not getting it yet. So for this week, we don't have a Godzilla Marvel title for you. So it's another situation where we've got none and you could take the week off. Cool. But I want to bookmark this so when we do get new titles, I have this segment in place. But for now, we've got none. Take some time off or spend some time reading some new number ones because we do have a bunch of new number ones. And with those, let's just keep it rolling because we're already 45 minutes in and we're getting to the new number ones. All right, I think pacing is going fine. This will still be about an hour. But with new number ones, let's go on over and check out a Dark Horse book first. And that is a Lady Baltimore. So we have Mike Mignola kind of connecting in the Hellboy kind of verse. Curious Objects is a little thing up in their corner. I guess this is a little sub series for him. Issue 1 of 2. So this would be part 1 of a 2-part series. Daughters of Medusa. Always fun stuff, fun reads. I just never have time, or I always forget to pick these types of things up. But anytime I get around to reading things like this, I always do enjoy them. But so maybe I'll give this one a shot. No commitments, though. Now, we go back on over to Dynamite, and we have them resurrecting Captain Planet with another Spears cover. Cool. With Captain Planet. Another character I have no ties to. I did not watch this cartoon. I did not collect this comic book, and it did have a comic book. And they're trying way too hard to sell me this book. Dynamite. Nostalgia feels. I don't know. Look, there's so much. Look at all that words. Try to sell me this book. Just might as well read the damn book. Come on now. Way too much. Bunch of covers, obviously. We got the Spears. Dynamite has all these guys, I think, on lock. Like, I don't think they got them all locked down and just doing covers forever. Because here's another Jay Lee. Just seems to be doing a cover. We got a Christian Ward option here as well. And then we got a 4th option, too. I think it's a Ben Oliver, which is cool. A lot of good artists doing covers, but way too many covers for a book that I don't want to read. That said, here's a fun new number 1 for you. And this is over at Image. This is Blood and Thunder. So future Earth, alien species, kind of intermingling with us all, etc. Kind of fun stuff. Sci-fi, etc. I'm going to check it out already. But here's cover A. There is a B cover option as well. There is a sketch cover, which is not much real estate for a sketch, but there's your sketch cover. We do have incentives like a 1 in 10 here. Pretty cool. I don't know what keeps her hair up, but something is keeping her hair up and floating. She's got that Starfire thing going. Then we do have a 1 in 25 option as well. Also, not bad. And then, most notably, there is a J. Scott Campbell 1 in 50 here, which is already pre-selling for an enormous amount of money. Yes, it's an Image. It's a 1 in 50. Could be tough. I don't know. But just be careful on overspending because seeing one of these 1 in 50 sell for, I think, for over $200. Granted, I got to check the best offer to make sure nothing under was caught, but appearances look like over $200 was spent on a 1 in 50. That's a lot of money to go pre-buying a decent Campbell cover. It's not great. I mean, I do like it. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think I $200 like it. But I do like how the trade dress works in with the Image, etc. Always like when they do that. But yeah, definitely want to keep an eye on for this week. Now, I kept mentioning Mark Spears, but no Monsters. Actually, Monsters will be playing catch-up, as I mentioned last week. A lot of things were delayed. I'm not putting them in the deck here, but a lot of the Monsters covers may find their way to your shop this week. So keep an eye on those. Also, be careful how much you start spending on error print editions, because I remember people got crazy the first time with the mole variant on the second print, and then what is that doing now? So just be mindful of that and just be a little more reserved with your wallet before you just quickly go jump into things. It is what it is. It's a fun, interesting little error tidbit, miscolored. But that said, let's get on to new books. This is a new book at a keen spot. Don't Run with Scissors. Okay. Horror-ish type title coming out of Keen Spot. Couple of covers here. We got A's. We got B's. We got C's. And yes, we've got a D cover. Then there's a couple of others that I was going to put in, but I just didn't feel like doing the holofoil version or the metal version cover just because, I don't know. Those start feeling less like regular order books and more like exclusives. And I don't like covering exclusives because, come on now. Like, we don't have any connection to this title. Why does anybody want to spend $100 on a metal cover for a title we haven't even read yet? Like, I don't understand. Like, that's a lot of money to invest in a new product that you have no connection to. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But similarly, also out of Keen Spot, we got the Execution Posse holdings. I guess this is connecting to those other storylines with the Papa Duke and the Killer Town, etc. The Night of the Cadillacs type of stuff. The Chamberlains, or maybe not. But this is something in development at Sony, apparently, or at least that's how they're selling it. That's the first thing they mentioned in the write-up. Is, hey, this is going to be adapted by Sony, maybe. Or I shouldn't say adapted. It's in development, which means it could go nowhere. Keep that in mind as well. But with that said, it is still kind of a weird little storyline. There's a secret city of vampires, etc. It's not unlike a lot of titles that we can read these days, but give it a look if you're interested. Cover A. We got cover B here. Kind of cool. I like the art. Rob Pryor. I don't know if it's AI or not. It does look nice, though. C cover. D cover, which is almost like a mirror image of the other one. And, yeah, E cover. I don't know why I have so many goddamn covers. Then we do have a 1 in 20, which is a virgin version of that one, which is cool. And then again, there is like a foil version of another one that's a flip book with the other cover on the back that's made of foil, and it's $20. And then there's also a metal cover that's $100. Once again, $100 for a metal cover. God bless you, whoever's buying those. That said, Marvel. Totally Awesome Hulk and Brawn, Amadeus Cho, #1, 20th anniversary. I cannot believe Amadeus Cho has been around 20 years already. That said, I am still a big fan of the early issues with him in the Hulk title. When he and Herc went on that run, I still think that would be a great Disney Plus show. Amadeus and Herc with the Greek stuff, that was great run, great read, that storyline. That said, 20th anniversary, celebrating all the versions of him, I guess. I don't really like the idea of him going by Braun anymore, but hey, it is what it is. Cover A, Nakayama, give it as a great. Cover B, and then there is a C cover option here as well. So pick whichever one you like. And yeah, so this is an anniversary special. So it's a one-shot, no incentives, 3 options. Pick which one you like. I'll probably get the Nakayama if I get this. And I probably will get this because I do have a soft spot, as I said, for that early Amadeus Cho run. Now, Fantastic Four fanfare. I guess they really wanted to go with that alliteration. But you remember the old Marvel fanfare? They even have the font of the old school Marvel fanfare. And that's kind of what this is going to be. It's an anthology series on Marvel's First Family, which I guess there's going to be a draw for this. I mean, I'm looking forward to the movie, but that hasn't made me want to continue reading more and more Fantastic Four comics, personally, just because I never had a huge connection to the Fantastic Four outside of the classics, obviously, you know, the old Kirby and Lee stuff, but we're not talking about that. This is cover A, negative space, pretty cool. A bunch of other options here as well. B covers and C covers, and yes, we have D covers as well as, you guys guessed it, an E cover. Yeah, 5 different open order variants for this one, and incentives. So we've got 1 in 25s. We got 1 in 50 hidden gems as well, if you want to get that. And we also have virgin versions of regular trade dresses, as are 1 in 100s, also, as you may have guessed. So get whatever you like. I'm surprised with all the cover treatment that Fantastic Four fanfare is getting, that we're only getting 1 cover on It's Jeff Week, #1. Again, this is just collecting Infinity Comics, which are those like online comics or whatever, and then they put them to print. That said, I'm still surprised they're not trying to really bank into this and give us multiple covers to get people to buy them all. But there we are. It's Jeff Week, #1. Now, another big #1 this week, and I'm surprised it's not getting more attention, but with yesterday being May the 4th, Star Wars Day, we are getting a brand new Star Wars #1. And this is important in that this is the start of a new era. We are no longer tied to the original trilogy. We are now going to be getting stories after Jedi. So the epic new adventure begins for Luke, Leia, and Han in the wake of the Return of the Jedi. So following Return of the Jedi, this will be all new stuff, and we see how we get to where we get eventually. You know, with Force Awakens. With that, Noto, cover A, pretty cool. Looks like a book jacket. We got a B cover here, which I think is some sort of spoiler or teaser cover. So there's that. The Delato is really nice. I like this Delato. It looks just like Luke. It's really cool. Lightsaber in hand. It's my favorite. This will be the one I'm getting, despite the fact I do also like the David Nakayama. And you guys know I'm a David Nakayama fan, so I'm kind of torn over which of the two to get. And then we do have more options here. Again, I get why we're getting a lot of covers here because it's Star Wars. But yes, we are getting a lot of covers here. We've got a Force Awakens 10th anniversary. Can you believe it's been 10 years, or it's going to be 10 years this December for Force Awakens? Time is really flying by on us. Then we have an action figure cover, but now we're starting to get the Powers of the Force figures. I guess we ran out of the original ones, so now we're going to start getting these 1990s reissues with the weird hulky looking figures. You remember them? That was my problem with those runs. It's like Beefcake Luke. Look at how strong he is. That said, we're still not done because we got a title card. Also kind of cool. I guess if you get it signed or a remark of some sort on it, could look really nice. And a foil. I lost count of, I think it was like at least 8 covers maybe in the mix. I know I couldn't keep them up all on the screen at the same time, but trying out something. Tell me again what you think of the new layout and the new format of how I'm presenting these. Trying to make use of all of the real estate I have on the screen for you to show you the actual books. With that said, this is the foil. And then we do have incentives. Obviously, there's going to be incentives. 1 in 25 option here. We've also got a 1 in 50. And look at that with can't think of the bounty hunter's name. Dude, why am I drawing a blank? Drawing a blank on his name. You guys know who I'm talking about with the Terminator face. But there we got a 1 in 50. We also got a 1 in 100, which is a version of the Delato, which, again, should not be surprised Marvel doing it, but I get it. I kind of like the trade dress because it fills that empty space, though, personally. But this would look nice as a version, as does, well, there is also a 1 in 200 option here, which is a version of the Nakayama. Again, pick which one you like. I'm still kind of torn between the trade dresses of the Delato and the Nakayama, but I'll make my call on Wednesday. With that said, let's get on over oversized stuff. This is like, the distillery type stuff, some black labels, a lot of magazines. Speaking of magazines, that's where we're at this week. Nope, not a new issue of Judge Dredd, but we do have the return of the title for Heavy Metal. Yep, Heavy Metal is back. Legacy number 321, but issue 1 here. Giant size first issue. $15 on this bad boy, mind you. And a lot of words to try to sell this to you. As we see down below, there's more text to be had. Just didn't have it in me to put it all there. But there you go. 232 pages. That's pretty thick. Pretty thick mag here for $15. Not bad. A lot of covers, too. A lot of covers. This is the A, technically. Then we've got other options here with a Frazetta. Cool. Can't go wrong there. We got a Tula Lotte option there. Again, these are kind of large, so I don't got a lot of space to share all of them. So we're going to have to remove some as we make room for more. Little rocket ship car here. Then we got some watercolors. Feels like a little pastel vibes here. We got a sketch if you want to get something sketched on your Heavy Metal mag. And then we have some premium editions that you could spend $5 more if you want. So we have a $20 version here with a not suitable for work black bar. So I believe that black bar will not be there on the copy that you purchase. But we have that option, as well as this one for a $20 offering. So if you want to pay a little extra for a more limited edition or whatever they're calling them, you can. That's a lot of covers, though. A lot of covers. And here we go. Facsimiles. Jeez, we're almost at an hour. I still got a few segments to go. Facsimiles for this week. We only got a couple, so not a lot to run through. But we'll get through them. So we're going to get the next installment of the original Batman Hush here with Batman number 616. So, yeah, Jim Lee. Cool. Again, you can find these in the dollar bins. You don't have to buy these. But if you're doing it, I'm not going to judge you for it. $4, sure. You want it shiny foil? Well, they're going to have an option for you there, too, for $7. So $6.99 if you want a foil cover. Again, that's not what it looks like. This is my interpretation of what the foil would look like. I don't know why I do that for just the facsimile section, but I do. So I'm going to keep doing it. along with the next one, because yes, you're going to guess it, the next DC book, which is Brave and the Bold number 57, the first Metamorpho. Cool. I mean, with Superman coming out this summer and Metamorpho playing a role in it, makes sense. We're getting to see some of these characters in these facsimiles, because this is the pricey back issue. Facsimile makes sense here. If you want to get a sketch cover, well, there's a sketch cover option for you. Also, very fair. And if you do want to get it shiny, I'm not going to judge you if you want to pay extra for it. It's $7. You can get the shiny version. Go ahead. I'm not going to, but go ahead. And then finally, we have the 20th anniversary reissue facsimile of Mouse Guard. Because we got the new title running now, so they're going back to the original, square book. So cool. With that, later prints. So we're going to do later print next. Once again, not a lot here, surprisingly, but we do have a few to cover. So in the realm of later printings, we're going to start off with some second printings first. Over on the indie side of things was with I Was a Fashion School Serial Killer. Interesting read to start. Interesting first issue. We're just going with the black and white version on one of the original offerings here for the second print. Then we were getting also a second print for Blade Forger from the Miranda brothers over at Mad Cave. So if you missed out on this, here's your chance to pick it up. And even though I think we just had the second print, I think just all of last week or 2 weeks ago, we already got a third print for Free For All. This one shot by Patrick Horvath, who gave us Beneath the Trees with this one shot. I still haven't gotten to read this. I'll get around to it, but man, I can't believe there's already been 3 printings, and it's only been out like maybe a month and a half since the original first came out, and I just haven't had a chance to read it yet. And we've already got 3 printings. It's insane. And then Keenspot going back for whatever reason to do the Kill Town. I do remember getting the original run of these just for the covers. A lot of gorgeous covers here. This wasn't my favorite. This wasn't the best. There are a couple other really good ones, but this is the second print cover that they chose, as well as an incentive second print here in this one on the 1 in 20. Once again, the other options were better on the original, so if you can still get them, take a look at them. Marvel is also giving us second prints with Cold Day in Hell from Daredevil. Again, if you didn't read this, pick this up. Good read. Sort of a futuristic Old Man Logan kind of vibe thing. Not in the same universe, but that kind of thing. A future tale of Daredevil. Very interesting. Well, I liked enjoying. Like I want to say well read. It was well written. That's what I meant. Second print. Pick it up if you like it. There is an incentive 1 in 25 using the Frank Miller sketch if you want. Again, this is not the worst Frank Miller. We've seen some bad ones over the last year or two, but this one's actually not bad. It's not great either, but hey, it's not bad. That's it. I don't need the incentive on a second print. I also don't need the second print because I got the first print. But if you missed out, this is your chance. Just like if you missed out on Godzilla versus Fantastic Four, here's your chance on a recolored A version. I think it was reddish the first time. Now we got a blue. Cool. And if you like this other cover, they made it a virgin for the 1 in 25. Not for me, but fine. Surprise, there's no 1 in 25 option for the Marvel Rivals second print, but we do have a Marvel Rivals second print that's got just Jeff in color, everybody else in black and white. Surprised we didn't get another cover for an incentive. So, wow. Marvel practicing some restraint, I guess. Now let's get to some of the theme variants for the month as we wrap up the show here. So, DC side of things, we're getting the AAPI Heritage Month, the Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month covers. Me, being half Filipino, can understand and do like these covers, though we don't have many. We only got 3 to start off our first week of the month, and our first one is Batgirl, Cassandra Cain, who is also Asian. So on issue 7, if you didn't like the other covers, you could get this version. Same for Birds of Prey 21. You got Katana there being featured as well. Looks like these actually connect, and maybe I should have put them on a connecting cover because I didn't realize it until now once I saw the Swamp Thing in the background that these are kind of going together, aren't they? I don't know how this plays into it, but maybe this one does as well. I'm going to have to build these out for you next month if they go together. But this is on the Atom Project, which is the title I'm not really picking up, but there you go. A couple more characters. Now, over on the Marvel side of things, we're still getting these iconic variants by Todd Nauck, which they're okay. I mean, they're not really Like, I get the Alex Ross Timeless ones was like a character spotlight. I got those. These ones, no disrespect to Mr. Knock, they're just covers. I feel like it's a trading card cover or something, or a card for a video game. Like, there's a character spotlight to choose your character, Deadpool. Okay, on a white background. It is what it is. But there's our offering for this month, Deadpool. Cool. This month, we are getting a new series of variants, the Impossible variants, featuring the Impossible Man, character I remember fondly because he was in one of the early books of Silver Surfer that I picked up randomly when I decided to start reading comics in my youth. I remember grabbing issues of Silver Surfer and Impossible Man, which I think was like issue 33 of that run from the 87 run, somewhere in that range. I remember Impossible Man showing up. I'm like, who is this guy? Kind of fun character, but here we go. We're getting Impossible Man variants, and they're homages, if you will. Again, you could say it 3 different ways. Homage, homage, or homage. All correct, depending on where you're from. With that said, our first one being this one with all new Venom. So all new Venom number 6. Yeah, he's a whole bunch of different characters. We got a little bit of Wolverine mixed in with Captain America, etc. And obvious, 300, right? I mean, we've seen it. We know it. They made some interesting choices here. Yes, this is one we've seen all. It's almost an obligatory one. They have to do one. But they made some other interesting choices. This is technically, on Psylocke number 7, this is technically a Marvel card. Like, this is a callback to a trading card that Jim Lee did when he did the Marvel trading cards. Granted, they did already make variants featuring that card art when they did the Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man number 2 here with Psylocke on a comic book cover. But again, this theoretically is an homage to the trading card. Just something to bring up, because here's another weird choice that they made in our first offerings here with West Coast Avengers. It's like Impossible Man in a swimsuit holding a big like snake thing. This isn't even a cover. This is an old interior Wonder Man pose in the original Marvel swimsuit edition. I think it was the original one that this one was in. But you see, this is a callback to that. So they're making some weird choices on what to throw homages in. But yes, and the Marvel swimsuit issue is coming back, I believe, this summer. So, yeah, for fans of that, look out at your shop this summer for the Marvel swimsuit edition. But that's our first 3 offerings for the Impossible variants. Probably going to break this up into 2 shorts at some point, maybe next week or so. I'll do them up, do 5 and 5. Since they're homages, I won't show both covers. But with that said, I mentioned Alex Ross earlier is doing like those character feature and spotlights. And guess what? We're getting some more Alex Ross Timeless covers. I know it's not this Timeless from the Timeless variant, but it is a Marvel logo and it fits what we're talking about here because these are still called the Timeless variants. So that's what I'm using. I'm using that logo and I'm sticking to it. With that said, we're getting a whole new series of them. Starting off this week with Tigra. Not only are they giving us the Timeless variants, but just like they did last time, we're getting 1 in 100 sketch versions of them. So you can get the sketch version, which you can see shows her place in the larger picture, because these spotlights are also pieces in a larger whole. And the other one we're getting this week is Captain Marvel, who also has a 1 in 100 pencil sketch version where you can see a couple other characters kind of previewed behind her. Granted, a bit more of these than there are of the Impossible variants, but still not a ton. What are we looking at? 6, 9, 12, 14, 16? So 16 or so, where we had, I think, 10 of the Impossible variants. We're getting 3 more next week. That's more to the point. 3 more next week. And, all right, now, with that all said, let's get on over to the Cheesecake cover segment of the show. This is right here near the end. These are going to be, obviously, the Cheesecake covers that we're here to talk about. We're going to start off with, where are we going to start off? We're going to start with DC? Yeah, Poison Ivy. So, again, we're 33 issues in, and I know a lot of people still don't know what's inside this book. But the covers have been fantastic throughout this run. Granted, cover A's are usually borderline, whether they fit this category or not, but we do have other options here. Granted, this is a little bit on the creepier side as well, with the Swaby art here, almost like she's being overtaken by the plants. But this is for issue 33. Then we got a pretty standard issue here, which, yes, you can see that's what we're here for. This is the Cheesecake kind of cover for you, as well as a 1 in 25. And we do have more with the incentive variants going here with a 1 in 50, which will be a virgin version of, that other offering, as we've seen before. It's not just Marvel. DC does it too. So pick your poison ivy, pick your poison if you like any of those. Go over to Dynamite. Also frequent collaborators for this segment. We have Red Sonja Attack Mars. Why can't I read today? I think it's just been a while. But issue 2 of this series, we got a Linsner. That's right? Linsner, yes. We've got a Jay Lee. Telling you, I think they got Jay Lee on forever contract. You got to do covers. And then we do have another option here. I forget who did this cover. Greg Land. So we got a Greg Land here. A little bit of a callback with the reflection of the sword. And then we'll hop on over to Image for just an Adventure Man, Family Tree, issue 2, Dodson. Always good to give us a nice Dodson cover mixed in here. And while we're at Image, we'll take a look at, I think this is the B cover for Scorched, which is featuring this female Spawn character. Yeah, reminds me of the 90s, bad girl art, guns and leather chains and stuff like that. Sure. Then, obviously, we can go over to Zenescope for Grim Fairy Tales, Alice in Zombieland, which only gives us 2 covers that I really can show for this week. We've got A and a B, a royal cover, really cool there. And it's Alice in Wonderland, but it's Zombieland. And then they're also giving us Grim Tales of Terror, issue 5, which, yes, the Hat Man is not a Cheesecake cover, but it had the trade dress for the rest of the book, so I wanted to show it so I knew what title we were talking about when I show you this Reaper lady with the Hat Man. And then we also have the Reaper lady wearing a hat here, all right? That's not bad. And you thought this was the risque version. It's not. This is the risque 1 in 20 version here that you should also keep an eye on, because those can sometimes be sought after. Granted, a niche collectible, but a collectible nonetheless. So 1 in 20 option there if you're into that. And then we do have this new title, Risk from Black Box, coming out. So I'm giving you a little bit of a feature here because despite the fact that this being Cheesecake type covers, this normally would find itself in the new #1 segment. So this would have been the layout that I would have given you. So we only have 2 covers here. This first one being a wraparound cover, though. So we got that. And then we do have, as I said, a B cover option here as well. So if you're into this, want to give this a try, there you go. Risk with a Y. Marvel with the Spider-Gwen Ghost Spider, which have been kind of borderline, but now they're mixing in Jean Grey Phoenix in here. We can put this fully on in, I guess, the Cheesecake area here. I like these Brooks kind of throwback covers. Very bright, very colorful. And then we do have a B cover option here as well, almost like a playing card reverse, whatever you want to call it. But still, the 2 characters featured there. And finally, Psylocke character, and look, she's also guest starring with Magic and Rogue. Like, come on, we got the triumvirate of X characters, the X ladies here that love being featured in this segment and on these covers. That said, I do like this title, and this is still on my pull list because I still am enjoying reading Psylocke. I didn't think I'd like it. I figured it was just a method for them to sell me covers, but I actually have enjoyed the stories inside. So with that said, this is the cover A. I really do like the Forbes here. It is pretty muted as far as the color palette goes, but I kind of like that. And also, I'm still a little in the mindset of Assassin's Creed Shadows. So anything, Japanese and ninja, shinobi kind of vibe, samurai vibe is really hitting for me right now. So I really do like this cover. This is probably going to be the one I get because there is a 1 in 50 incentive version, but I don't want to pay 1 in 50 prices, so I'm fine just with the trade dress. Though this one is one of my favorites of the week. It is not my favorite of the week, which is what we have next in our final segment here, Best of the Week. And with Best of the Week, I'm just going to show you my favorite covers of the week. If you watch my shorts, you probably already know what they're going to be. Well, you actually only get to see the one, and then the variant one will drop tomorrow. But point being said, this will be my favorite variant of the week. Because we're speaking of variants, it almost was that Psylocke. I mean, she was a contender there for a bit, but realistically, biased as I am, This Don Marino G.I. Joe 1 in 10 was my favorite. It was really tight race between this and that Hello Darkness 1 in 10. That one was really, really good too. But G.I. Joe edges it out because of it's G.I. Joe. I mean, and I'm biased, and I admit it. It's my show, so I'm picking my favorites. You can tell me your favorites down below, but this is my favorite of the week. Just like this next cover is, biased as I am, for Adam Hughes. My regular cover, this is my favorite cover of the week. Adam Hughes, yeah, it's a little bit more on the risque side of things, but hey, I'm picking them. This is what I chose. This is a good cover to me, and with that, that's all I got for you. I know we ran a little late. We ran a little long here, but I'd still like to thank you all for stopping by. I don't know what mess up that was there, but that was probably like 7 or 8 at that point because it's something I need to reformat for the new format. And as I said, please let me know what you think of this new format. Do you like the bigger books taking up more of the screen real estate and less just filler? I'll be glad to hear what you guys think. And yes, it did make me run a little bit longer. Might have to start trimming a little bit of things, maybe tighten it up. But at the same time, I think this was just a big week, being the start of a month. So a lot of extra books and a lot of extra things to talk about. So that also could have been part of why this ran over an hour. But I'm not going to keep you any longer. That's all I got for you this week. Hopefully you enjoyed that as well as everything else here on the channel. Please let me know what you think down below. Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I think we're like a dozen away from hitting 5K. So hopefully by the weekend, I can celebrate hitting 5,000 subscribers. And with that all said, I'll see you all later with some more content. All right.